Hello, and welcome to the Shuffle Play On project. My name is Danielle Langua. I'm fascinated by our everyday relationship with art and media, but mostly I want people to give me music recommendations. I want it on my own selfish terms, though. You see, when I listen to music, I tend to hit shuffle and listen to anything and everything I have, rather than specific playlists or albums. So the guests here will do the same, sharing and discussing the first 7 songs that come up on Shuffle Play. Here's a caveat. I'm not going to play the songs for everyone to hear because I don't want the copyright police coming after me. However, I will put song information in the show notes, so feel free to check that out. Let's get into it. So today's guest is Alex. Alex, can you please introduce yourself and how we know each other?
Yeah, so I'm Alex. I live in Canada, and Danielle and I met, I think, on YouTube or Twitter. I have the worst memory, but I know it was online. And we used to
It was.
vlog together on like a collab channel on YouTube, and there's 2 collab channels that we vlogged on.
Was it 2? I thought it was just the one.
7 College Nerds and Quarter Life Crises. I still
I don't think I
subscribe to
did.
both of them.
I don't remember doing quarter life crises. I think that was maybe like after the college
Oh,
one, and I wasn't involved in that one. I
I
think
swore
maybe.
you were.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. I remember the first one, the 7 college nerds, but I don't remember the
Yeah.
other one. And that was the
Oh,
day of the YouTube collab channel. Those were so fun. And it was,
yeah.
I think the thing that I found so delightful about it is that it was the early days of the internet, or not super early, but like early-ish days of like vlogging and YouTube and stuff like that. So it was like 2011, 2012-ish. And it was a great way to like meet new people who are in a similar life stage. And so I still, it's been 10 years and we all still, I mean, a lot of us still kind of talk to each other. I talk to you, and Melissa's out there publishing her books and stuff. So it's cool to see what other people are doing. I occasionally see, I think it's Lisa posts online sometimes, and I still pay attention to that. So it's fun to see.
Yeah, it is fun to see. And I just looked up our channel on
Am
YouTube
I
because
on
I
it?
was very curious. You are on it.
Oh my God, how did I not remember that there was a second one? I truly don't remember this at all.
Yeah, the only reason I do remember because I have like I could tell anyone that I have the memory of a goldfish. So the only
Mm.
reason I do remember is because my personal YouTube channel is still subscribed to those 2 old channels. And my boyfriend and I were flipping through on our Fire Stick one day, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about these videos." And we started
Amazing.
watching some, and yeah, it was like a crazy
Yeah.
flashback to university days.
Yeah, see, what I remember is I was Saturday. I think you were Friday, I think.
Oh God, I don't know. I always like forgot my day and ended up doing it on another day.
I think you were, I want to say you were either Friday or Wednesday. So it was 7 college nerds. It was all of us had a day of the week.
Hmm.
Because Elizabeth was on Sunday. I think Melissa was Monday. Griselda, I
Okay.
think, was Tuesday. I think Lisa, I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what the days were, but I remember my day. I was Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now and I have Tuesday and Wednesday apparently and some other days. So you were Saturday, in fact.
Yep. And we titled all of our videos like it was like Wednesday is XYZ, Saturday is XYZ. That's what it was. That was the naming
Yeah.
convention. That's all I remember about it. I remember virtually nothing else.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot either. And now I get to make videos for work sometimes. And that's my video editing experience. And it actually helped. So it's
Yeah.
great.
I learned a lot of stuff while we were doing that, video editing and even sound editing. Like it definitely helped me when I was trying to put this little podcast together. That I was like, oh, I've done this before. So I have, it's a great little experience.
I love when hobby skills turn into like transferable skills for life.
Hmm. And I, because I had worked in education and stuff like that, like even recording lectures and things like that for students, and just the presentation skills, like I think so many of those skills are really transferable. And so, it was kind of a silly thing that we did, but I truly do think it was useful for all of us in one way or another.
Yeah, like even so I'm in marketing now and a lot of my job is using Adobe software to create things. And when I
Hmm.
was 12, I got a bootleg copy of Photoshop 7 and I used it to
Nice.
make websites about Good Charlotte and like emo pictures and stuff.
Yes, the
And
emo queen.
so that was 20 years ago, and I still use Photoshop every day. And it's like something I taught myself at the age of 12 is now my career. It's
Isn't that
awesome.
amazing?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should, given that this is a music podcast, we should probably talk about music. So, can you tell me about how you listen to music, like when, where, what platforms, artists, genres, just general information about your music listening habits?
Yeah. So I have Spotify. And I
Hmm.
think I was telling you a while ago that I switched to Apple Music to save a couple bucks a
Hmm.
month. And I hated it and didn't listen to music for like a month and it was awful. So I use Spotify.
Oh,
I have had it since it came to Canada 10 years ago. And yeah, I listen to not all kinds of music. I'm pretty picky, but I used to play the flute in high school and loved
oh
music,
yeah,
and
I
it got
remember
me
that.
through. Yeah, it got me through some hard times with my mental health, and so I've loved music ever since. I have a tattoo of an eighth note behind my left ear, and it reminds me
Oh,
to like keep music in the back of my head and my heart. It's on the side of my heart and my body. So yeah, music means a lot to me, and I listen to music like it helps me focus a lot at work.
hmm, hmm.
I have ADHD or some symptoms of it anyway, and take medication for it. And music also helps. Like I put my AirPods in at work and I listen to music while I'm working away, and it's very helpful to be able to focus. And yeah,
Yeah. Can you I'll be honest with you. I left the Apple ecosystem, God, like a decade ago now. So I'm not terribly well versed. I know that I don't think iTunes really exists in the same way anymore. So is Apple Music like the new version of like the iTunes ecosystem, or is it a new like streaming music system?
it's a streaming thing. So yeah, it's streaming. It's like Spotify, except they don't have as good of an algorithm and they don't create playlists in the same way for people,
Hmm, interesting.
which I really missed. So I was able to transfer all my playlists over using like an app
Hmm.
and was determined to use Apple Music, and just the interface wasn't the same, obviously, like it's not going to be the same, but it wasn't as like
Hmm.
intuitive, and just the algorithm on Spotify is unmatched.
Yeah, it is a pretty good algorithm. That's almost every single person I've had on here that uses Spotify, and that's everybody except for one person at this point, has said that they more or less really seem to enjoy the Spotify's algorithm. Thank you, Daddy Spotify.
Yeah. They have, I swear there is a playlist for every mood or situation that you could
Hmm.
ever be
Hmm.
in. I've searched up very specific things like making spring rolls with my white boyfriend, and I swear there's playlists for everything.
Oh yeah, some of my favorite ones too are the types of playlists you see where it's like a party is happening down the street.
Yes. And it's great. And like Apple, I don't think you can see other users' playlists as much as Spotify.
Hmm.
It's like more like community based and stuff on Spotify. I just love it. Like everyone makes the most hilarious playlists and
Hmm.
it's a good time.
My favorite thing is when artists like share what playlists their music are in. Like I think it was
Hmm.
Trixie Mattel who said something along the lines of that Trixie's music was in a playlist called like Sapphic Yearning, which is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's awesome.
That's an incredible name for a playlist.
Yeah, I have some good ones on my Spotify.
Hmm. I have dumb names for all of mine.
Yeah, I like edit the pictures for mine too. So there's like an album cover for them, and
Oh, that's amazing. I don't go that far. I just name them stupid things.
yeah, I even have my boyfriend and I met like a year and a half ago and we lived together and whatever. We're gonna get married one day. We love each other very much. Head over heels. We're not even engaged yet, and I have a wedding playlist for us.
Hey, you're prepared.
Everyone thinks I'm hilarious for it, but it's my favorite playlist right now, actually.
Hey, that sounds like good vibes to me.
Yeah.
So we actually answered several of the questions on my little list here. So I got to find some that we haven't already touched on. Let's see here. Is there anyone who is still like an actively playing musician who you have not seen live that is at the top of your list to see?
That is a really good question. I went to a lot of concerts in high school, but most of
Hmm.
those were like the emo bands I really liked in high school.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to think of who I haven't seen yet that I still listen to or that I would like to see. I think I did see One Direction at one point. They came to Winnipeg at their last tour, which was crazy because they're huge and nothing comes here anymore. But I would love to see Harry Styles by himself in concert, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard really good things about him in concert. In one of the
Yeah.
episodes, we had a whole conversation about Harry Styles because I think he showed up on somebody's playlist. I think it was Rachel. I don't 100% remember, but yeah. So that would be a cool one. I would definitely go to that concert too. I think on my list, I have people like Dolly Parton. I actually still have
Hmm.
Beyonce on my list, even though I have seen Beyonce since I made
Oh,
the questions, because her tour is currently going on right now, and it's fantastic. Highly recommend. I would also even like to go see, like, I have the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Like, I think that would be a really cool thing to go see, like, around Christmas time. It sounds like it would be really fun.
hmm. That would be amazing. And I think for me, I just thought of one as I scroll my playlists. Guilty pleasure, but I love some Pitbull. I would love
Mm.
to go like have some drinks and see Pitbull play live. I think it'd be really funny. And like dressed like him. I think it'd be
Oh my God,
hilarious.
yeah, that would be incredible. I actually cried at a Pitbull video earlier today. So full context, we are recording on September 3rd, and it is a sad day because the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Jimmy Buffett died. I believe it was Friday night. And
Yeah.
so there was a video going around of Jimmy Buffett playing at a Pitbull concert. And did I cry? Yes. They were playing Margaritaville and I cried.
Oh, I gotta have a margarita in his honor. I didn't even think of
I
doing that.
know. Unfortunately, I can't. I mean, I guess I could probably find a margarita here. I was thinking of having a cheeseburger in paradise at some point this week, but
Uh,
again, I'd already purchased my food for the week. So I was just like, we're
yeah.
going to be respectable adults.
Who can afford to eat out these
I
days,
know, right?
really?
I might see if I can get a burger in this next week, but we'll see. It may have to be McDonald's.
Hey, there is always time for McDonald's.
Yeah, I know. Look, I assure you, I am never too good for McDonald's.
Yeah, the people who pretend they are, they love to smash a Big Mac every now and then.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
So I have another question here. So you were talking about the fact that you went to a lot of live music, especially like in high school and that kind of age range. Of all of the live musical shows that you have seen, what was your favorite experience thus far?
That is a hard one. I think in high school, like I was in a weird place with my mental health, and music was great, as I said before. And I saw the Spill Canvas, which is like a super
Mm.
emo, like sad girl bops kind of band when I
Oh
was in high
yeah.
school, and they like their music. It spoke to me when I was in high school. So I saw them in like my in grade 12 when I was about to graduate high school, or I think it was that year. And some of the songs that I had like listened to on repeat while like crying in my bedroom as a teenager, I just stood there and just like vibed to them, and it was amazing. They were so good live and like so passionate.
Hmm.
That and I would say arkells. They're a Canadian band. They're my favorite band at the
Oh
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that you've talked about them before.
Oh yeah, they put
I
on a
recognize the
great
name.
show. Yeah, I just saw them a year ago or in the fall. I think it was the fall is a year ago, I guess.
Oh my God.
Last fall.
Time.
Yeah, I know, right? So I just saw them last fall, and that was the first concert or second concert I went to post COVID. Well, we're
Hmm.
still in COVID, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Post the depths of COVID. So it was amazing. It was so good to be at a like a live show again.
That's how I felt about I went to go see Lady Gaga a couple of years ago, and it was like my first time like being in a large group of people. And like at a big concert hall, and I just like cried and screamed, sang through the whole thing badly.
Yep, I did that at Arkells, and a little band called Said the Whale. I saw them. They're from Vancouver, Canada.
Hmm.
I saw them. That was my first concert after the depths of the pandemic, but I wore a mask at that one, and I have not been wearing a mask, I will say, since they lifted the mandate where I live, just because glasses and a mask, not a good time.
Yeah, it's not a good combination.
Arkells was my first like concert experience where I wasn't doing that since COVID
Mm.
started,
That's
and
significant, I think.
just got to sing and like drink water at the same time,
Amazing.
you know, and
Oh
see
yeah.
through my glasses without them being fogged up.
Incredible.
But they put on a really good show. They have a lot of energy and yeah,
I've
they're
heard
great.
good things. I've heard good things. Not just from
Hmm.
you, but mostly from
Oh,
you.
good. Probably, yeah.
Oh my God. So now I'm asking Alex to share her music. So I should probably share too. So I'm gonna hit shuffle on my own music library. And so we'll share what comes up for me. It is Rather Be featuring Jess Glynne. And this is a Clean Bandit song, but of course featuring Jess Glynne. And so it's a nice like kind of EDM semi-romantic kind of love song kind of thing. It's the thesis statement of the song is there's no place else I'd rather be. And it's like with this other person. So it's a nice like kind of feel good song. It's I think that it's one of those songs that like would come on in the club like towards the end of the evening when everybody's sloppy drunk and you like cry when you hold your friends kind of a thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't say I've ever heard of either of these artists before. But I just, full disclosure, made a playlist called Guest on a Podcast, and I added it to that list so I could listen to
Yeah.
your songs after.
It's a fun thing that you should mention that because there is actually a playlist on Spotify featuring all of the songs that have been on this podcast. It is called
That's
the Shuffle
awesome.
Play On the Shuffle Play On Projects playlist or something like that. I'll link it in the show notes for people who happen to find this when it actually goes up. But I will, of course, send that information to you because there's already a full playlist with all
Perfect.
that stuff.
That's awesome.
So I think here we will pause for a moment and then we'll start back up. All right, so we're going to get into Alex's playlist now. So feel free to go ahead and start. Let's go. Song one.
We have Spirit by Winter Sleep.
I don't know this one, but it's a cool
I
name.
also don't know this one. I like the band, so that's why it's in my liked songs.
Mm.
But I actually am not familiar with the song.
Oh, that's
That's
okay.
interesting.
This happens. This has actually happened like 3 or 4 times already. So this is not.
Okay.
This happens seemingly to a lot of people. So tell me about the band.
I don't know a lot about them other than that they're like an indie band that I'm into. Uh,
Can you tell me
yeah,
a bit about the genre or about what their songs are like?
like I think they're pretty chill, like indie band. I don't listen to a ton of them. Full disclosure,
Mm.
they pop up in my music sometimes, probably while I'm driving and not paying attention to who's playing. But I know they're like just chill, like indie music. I would say for like if you're having like a mellow or a melancholy kind of day, like it's
Mm.
raining
Okay.
outside and you need some chill, relaxing indie music, that would be the kind of band you would listen to.
Sounds good. We can move on to the next one if you don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah. We're gonna go to, oh, this is a good one. This Place is a Prison by the Postal Service.
I know the Postal Service, or I know of the Postal Service. I've listened to a few of their songs, but I don't remember them super closely right offhand. But this sounds like emo, like 2000s.
For sure. So the Postal Service, I don't know if it's multiple people from Death Cab for Cutie, but definitely the lead singer.
Okay. That's why I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Postal Service, I think they only had one album and it was like 2003. So this year would be the 20th anniversary of that album.
Oh my God, we're
I,
so old. Alex, we're
I
so old.
know. And in 2013, they did a reunion tour for that album, and I saw them in Minneapolis, and it was amazing.
Awesome.
I knew every song and sang along to them, and so this song is like, let's go to, I'm reading some of the lyrics, like,
Hmm.
this place is a prison, these people aren't your friends.
Yeah, this is probably I Hate High School
Yep.
type album. Yeah, there were a lot of these.
Yeah, so that's a
That's
good
how I
song.
felt about school too.
Yeah, but highly recommend the Postal Service,
Awesome.
even now. Music is great. Okay, so we have Tangle Formations by Explosions in the Sky.
See, this one I don't think I've heard of at all.
Yeah, I think they're like instrumental,
Oh, interesting.
like really good instrumental music. I think that's what they are. I listen to them more like in university. I think I would listen to them. Yeah, there's no lyrics, so I'm assuming that it's exactly who I'm thinking of. Uh, yeah, they have like really intense, like epic music.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
awesome. I love that kind of stuff.
moody. Okay, Spotify describes them as moody, dynamic, instrumental indie rock.
Oh, hell yeah. I like all of those words, especially in combination.
Yeah, so their music is featured in like movies and TV shows and apparently video games.
That's, yeah,
And yeah,
that sounds awesome. I'll have to give that a listen.
yeah, for sure. I'm not familiar with this song in particular off the top of my head, but just the music in general is beautiful. So I recommend them.
Amazing. That would definitely be something that would make its way into my playlist like very quickly.
Yeah, yeah, they're great. Um, I'm gonna skip to the next one.
Okay.
We have Cynical Bastards by Arkells.
They came up. I was hoping they would come up.
They will always come up, I'm sure, on my shuffle.
I remember one year, I think it was you shared like a Spotify, like the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. You shared that you were like in the top 0.5% of their listeners one year or something like that.
Top 0.005%. Like it's bad. I listen to them mostly, which is funny that I pay for streaming if I only listen to one band, but I listen to lots more than that. But yeah, this song happens to be my favorite song by them.
Awesome. That's a
It's like
great
good vibes,
thing to show
indie
up.
rock.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I keep wanting to say hell yeah because I'm like brought back to that kind of like high school like emo indie rock kind of time frame. Because you graduated in 2009 and I graduated in 2010, right?
Yeah, arkells, I discovered them. It was when I was working at Old Navy. It was
Oh, I remember
2014.
that.
Yeah, it was
I
my
remember
last
you
year of
telling us all about it.
university. It's a great job. I still shop there 99% of the time for my clothes.
I still go there for clothes too.
Work in retail just,
Oh, it
yeah,
sucks. I hated working retail.
yeah.
I worked at Ulta.
Yeah, we don't have Ulta in Canada, but I know it's makeup, right?
Yes, it's makeup and like
Yeah.
skincare and hair and stuff like that. And I still have nightmares about just a box. Think like I don't know, like a postal box that you would like send stuff in or put like books in or something like that. We would get boxes like that and I would have to unload them and they would just be full of eyeliner. And think like brown, black, very black, sparkly
Oh
black,
no.
navy blue. Like I still have nightmares about those, and it's been years since I worked at Ulta.
Yeah, I did shipment at Old Navy a couple times. So if we sold like elf makeup at Old Navy and Burt's
Uh-huh.
Bees.
Hmm.
And
All the little
sometimes we would
stuff.
get, yeah, we would get like a big box and there'd be one Burt's Bees lip chap in a box.
That's
Like
so weird. Why do they do
like
that?
the yeah, like then there was like a box the size of like I don't know, let's say it's like a 2 foot by 1 foot box.
Hmm. Hmm.
And there's one lip balm in this box. It's great for the environment, I'm sure.
So
Brings me
silly.
back. But yeah, Our Kills. This album actually came out that year, I think. So
Awesome.
uh, it's my favorite album by them. It's called High Noon, and it's just a good vibes kind of song. Like I think it's about like cynical people get out of town. Like
Stop being
yeah, it's
cynical.
just
Embrace the
yeah, it's
joy.
yeah. Some people can't shake the weight of the past. Some people's hearts remain at half mast. Is some of the
Hmm.
lyrics. So
That's
it's just
nice.
like you want to feel good and party
Have a good time. Yeah.
and have a good time, and the cynical bastards are getting you down.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good song.
That sounds great. So we're at song 5.
It's another Arkells.
On brand. Very on brand.
It's a little rain in brackets, a song for Pete.
Oh, this sounds like it's going to be a sad one.
It's about like I think it's about their yeah, it's about a friend of theirs or something. Oh, okay. I'm just reading the lyrics. Yeah, it's actually a feel good song. It's like a little rain ain't bringing me down.
Apparently, it was performed at the 2017 Winter Olympics at Pyeongchang. Fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
they did get invited to that. Uh,
I just Googled it, and that was one of the first things that showed up.
yeah, I remember them going there, so that's awesome. Uh, yeah, and this song's just about, I think it's about like a friend or something, and they're saying like nothing's gonna bring them down. Their music is
Nice.
generally pretty upbeat. They have a couple like sad songs that are upbeat. The lyrics are sad, but the song is fun. Uh, they have some good love songs, but this song is a good one. It's like,
Oh, I like the lyrics. It looks like it's like a song about friendship.
yeah,
That's awesome. I need to add this song to my playlist so I don't feel sad.
it's a good song. I highly recommend it. As all my songs, apparently.
Well, I mean, if it's showing up in your like shuffled playlist, then theoretically it would be songs that you like. So yeah, sounds
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Next song, Ballroom Blitz.
Oh, such a good song. I finally know one. It's
Yeah.
Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
By
Good
Sweet,
one.
correct? I believe that's the band
Correct.
name.
Yes.
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 This is a little bit older of a song. I want to say this is like 80s,
I'm
maybe
not
early
sure. Oh, it
90s, but
says
I
it says
think that
early 70s when I click on the
oh,
name of the band.
wow. Okay, I would wow.
1975, top 10 in the summer of 1975.
Well, I was totally wrong.
I was but a glimmer in my parents' eyes.
My parents were still children.
My parents were 12, so
Yeah, both of
it's a
us.
distant glimmer. It's a good song though. I like it.
It is great. It's one of those songs where like if it comes on in the car when you're driving around with your friends, oh, it's on.
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna scream it. You have to. You are
exactly.
contractually obligated to scream the words of the song. So we got our last song here, unless you have anything else you want to tell us about Ballroom Blitz.
No, I don't have anything else to say about it. So we'll skip to the next one. It is I'll Be Home for Christmas by Boney M. That's a great ending song.
Yeah. It explains how I feel about life.
So, Boney M, Christmas album.
Yeah, and that's Boney M. It's the same people who did Rasputin, right? That's
Yeah,
Boney M. Yeah,
yeah. So, the Christmas album, I
what
remember
a
my
vibe.
family had it on cassette tape.
Amazing.
And I remember sitting in the three-seater, like, pickup truck in the middle of my
Hmm.
parents on Christmas Eve every year listening to this tape on the way to my uncle's house. And, like, at night in the winter when you drive while it's snowing and you're little and you're looking up at the windshield, the snow's like coming at the windshield and you can see it in the light of the headlights and it looks like stars.
Oh, that's amazing. See, I never really, I mean, I visited like my grandparents who lived in Nebraska during the winter a few times, but I've never really lived in many places where there's a lot of snow. So that's kind of that's not something I'm accustomed to or have much knowledge of. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's like magic. It's like driving through space. It's a good childhood
Oh, it's
memory
so
and
cool.
it's a positive note.
Yeah.
Good childhood memory, positive note. Yeah, I like and the Boney M Christmas album remains a classic in my family. So
Yeah. It's such what great artists and like what a great song too. I repeatedly listened to the Dolly Parton version or cover of that song last year as I was like on the countdown of going back home to the US for Christmas because I missed home so bad. You know, it's I'm living on a completely different continent does get it starts to get to you at a certain point. So I think I got to a point where I was just like repeatedly like listening to that over and over. And I think I went specifically to the Dolly Parton version because the previous or not, 2 Christmases ago. So Christmas 2020, I was not able to go home for Christmas. So
Hmm.
I sat basically alone in my apartment, in a different state, with it was just me and my cat. And I repeatedly listened to the song Hard Candy Christmas by Dolly Parton, which is from the movie. Um, oh, what is that movie called? The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which I don't think I've ever seen that movie all the way through, but I do really like the Hard Candy Christmas song. So it's one of those like Christmas songs that's a little bit more sad and more melancholy. And I just repeatedly listened to that song over and over and over when I was so sad. So like then when I was starting to feel homesick, a couple of years later, I just went back to the same musician and just listened to it over and over and over again.
Oh man, yeah, 2020 Christmas is a
Oh, that was such a rough. It was so hard.
it's a rough holiday season for sure. It's just didn't get to see anyone. I got to see my
Hmm.
parents, which was very lucky. They were my little bubble because I lived alone at the time.
Oh yeah, you did.
And yeah, I was just me and my dog. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't even know if I listened to Christmas music that year because I was just not feeling it.
Mm. It didn't feel festive. It felt sad because we were still like being inundated by like hospitalization numbers and like death numbers and everything. And I remember like there was a website, and I don't remember who hosted it for the US version, but there were like two or three different versions. And one was like worldwide that I had, and I had another one that was specific for the US, and it was all about cases. And you could like go down to the county or go to the country or whatever and see what the overall COVID like numbers were. And I just remember looking at those websites and trying to stay like apprised of what was going on, but also, God, it was depressing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I just yeah, COVID. It's just a collective trauma, and
Oh my God, yeah. Like I don't think my body
uh,
will ever be the same because I'm certain at this point. Like I had some like physical. I never really. I think I probably had COVID at one point, but I couldn't get a test at the time, so I just stayed home for like a month and didn't talk to anybody. But I I
yeah,
truly think that my body has not recovered. And I don't know if it ever will, to be honest with you. I think this is just one of those traumas that is both mental and for a lot of us, I think also physical. And
yeah,
I just don't know if it'll ever be something that a lot of us ever truly get over.
yeah. Um, so my job holds a convention every year,
Hmm.
and it's a big like 400 person convention, and we hold it in a different city in Canada every year. And
Hmm.
of course, 2020 and 2021, we didn't have it in person. So last year they did a welcome video, and I watched it to welcome everyone back to in-person conventions again.
Hmm.
And the whole first like minute was clips from the news, starting from the start of COVID. And it was amazing
No.
how much of the pandemic that I cut out of my memory.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's just like scary.
I still remember my last day going into work physically, because I had been listening to a podcast that morning that was about the COVID cases. And it was about like, oh, just make sure you wash your hands and we'll have to, pay attention to the news and listen to recommendations, blah, 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 blah. But, there's not a whole lot you can do on an individual level. Just try to keep yourself safe. I was listening to that on the day in. And then by the time I left work that evening, they were essentially telling us, hey, we're going away for 2 weeks and then we're going to come back. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, I remember thinking to myself, because I was teaching, so I had to think about these things. And I remember sending an email out to my students saying like, hey, we're not going to be in person for the next 2 weeks. We had a test. And so I like pushed the test forward and I redid all of the scheduling. And I told them that, hey, you got to pay attention to what the university is saying, and be mentally prepared to go online for the rest of the semester because I was already like, if they're sending us home for 2 weeks, I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the semester. It was wild.
Wow, yeah, it was a wild time. I was at a job at the time where I did IT for half my job, and I
Mm.
had to get everyone home on desktop computers,
Oh my God, I do not envy you.
and we didn't use the cloud to back up our files at that
Oh
job,
no.
so I had to buy like 20 external hard drives and manually back. It was just a nightmare.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. And then we were like 2 weeks, and here we are 3.5 years later.
Still, oh man, it's just such a wild, like, shared trauma.
Yeah.
That's the only phrasing I have for it.
I'll say I could go for a precedented event at this point.
Same, honestly. I'm tired of living historically novel times. Please, God, give me precedence.
Exactly.
So as we wind down, we have our playlist of 7 songs. And so I can reread some of the songs to you in case, because we got off tangent talking about something else. But I wanted to ask you, does this playlist of 7 songs accurately represent your music preferences?
I remember them, but I'm going to say no, it doesn't. I love like the last like 4 months, I discovered that if you listen to Pitbull, you can't be sad while you're listening to Pitbull. So I'm listening to like a lot of Latin party music.
Amazing.
Really loving it. Yeah, so none of that came up. And I have a lot of it in my songs.
Good old Bad Bunny in there.
Yes.
Love Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Enrique,
none of that came up.
Iglesias.
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else at the moment. Like Pitbull's at the top of my mind. But yeah, Shakira. Yeah, I have a weird taste in music, I guess, in that I listen to like indie rock, Canadian indie, emo music from high school, and like Latin party music.
I feel like that sounds like a great combination.
Exactly. I got music for every kind of mood.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so of the 7 songs that we have here, which one is your ultimate recommendation? Which song should everyone listen to?
I think I would recommend the band Explosions in the Sky.
Okay.
Because it's instrumental, it's epic rock, like indie rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you need some like good background music, it's good stuff.
All right. What about, are there any of the individual songs that you would recommend more over the others?
Cynical Bastards by Arkells.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for. I had a feeling that was going to be it.
It's a good one.
All right, that's awesome. So I think we're pretty much towards the end here. So I'll go ahead and start the little sign off that we do here. So thank you for listening to the Shuffle Play On project, and thank you to Alex for agreeing to come on. Do you have anything you would like to add?
Sure, I would like to add, I guess, fat liberation.
Hell yeah,
is a great thing. And part of I guess I'm on Instagram, not like a influencer or anything like that, but
you post fun stuff.
I post fun stuff. Love
you have a dog that's cute.
Yeah, I love being a fat babe with my cute dog living life. And
plants.
We need more representation of body types in the world. So
absolutely. Just spread some body love, I guess, is my last message. Like, love your body and yourself, which we didn't talk about at all. So it's kind of random. But that's where I'm going to go with it. And absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that message. We love fat liberation over here, and by we I mean me specifically. So I started this project because I wanted music recommendations, of course, but also because I wanted to do something fun that helped me connect with people. My goal with this project is to create and post 12 or more episodes over the course of 1 year. If you have feedback or want to contact me for other reasons, please go to my website, daniellelanglois.com. That is DanielleKelanglois.com for contact info and social media accounts, or you could leave a comment/review wherever you are listening to this. I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for listening once again.